Why is Jeff Bezos quietly buying up massive stretches of untouched land? You might think it's just another business move, but there's something much bigger going on here. Something that could impact all of us. I'm Abi, and together with my wife, I run a 7-figure business that's been buying and selling land across the US for the past 6 years. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the secret land strategies that rich people like Bezos use to build serious wealth, how you can use these principles yourself, even if you're just starting out, and my top hack to turn even a small piece of land into passive income that works for you. But before we dive in, let me show you what else is happening that'll make you see just how big of an opportunity land is right now. So recently, Bill Gates, with all his wealth and influence, was outbid in a high-stakes auction for a prime piece of farmland. But here's the twist. It wasn't another billionaire who outbid him. So who was this mystery buyer? Well, the answer might just mean you'll never think of land ownership the same again. But first, why are billionaires like Bezos, Gates, and even Ted Turner racing to buy up land faster than a Black Friday sale at Costco? Well, think of land as gold's humble cousin. It's quiet, steady, doesn't need to show off, and in tough times, it holds its value. Unlike stocks that rise and fall faster than the latest TikTok trend, land appreciates quietly over time, giving you something stable, something you can actually control. But what if it could be more than just an asset you hold on to? What if your land could start working for you, generating income without you having to lift a finger? Take Sting, for example. You might know him as a legendary musician, but did you know he's quietly building a different kind of legacy? Not with music, but on a breathtaking piece of land in Tuscany. Now, this isn't just a place to relax. It's a unique setup that actually generates income. Here's how he's doing it and how you might be able to apply the same strategy. When Sting first acquired this land, he could have treated it like most people treat a retreat, just a peaceful escape. But letting prime farmland just sit there, that felt like a missed opportunity. How could he turn this dream property into a profitable, sustainable asset without being tied to managing it? Well, Sting chose a smart, hands-off approach. He leased out portions of his land to local farmers. So now his olive groves produce high-quality oils, his vineyards yield wine, and even the bees on his land produce organic honey, all without him having to lift a finger. It's a setup that's more than a quiet retreat. It's a reliable source of profit that requires almost no effort from his end. But what if there were even more ways to make your land work for you? Ways that don't stop at what's above ground. Imagine if your land held hidden assets just waiting to be unlocked. Income streams you might never see at first glance. This next story is about someone who took that idea to a whole new level. Meet John Malone, one of the biggest landowners in America, with over 2.2 million acres under his control, a territory larger than the entire state of Delaware. Malone had endless options for generating income, but instead of traditional farming or cattle, he saw an opportunity most people miss. While most people focus on what's above ground, Malone recognized a treasure trove hidden below. So he took an unconventional route, leasing the mineral rights on his land. Gravel, natural gas, even precious metals, all extracted by partner companies. Malone doesn't have to dig, drill, or manage operations. He simply collects steady revenue from these deals. And the best part? His land remains open for future use. But let's be real, not everyone owns millions of acres with mineral rights. So what if there was a simpler, more accessible way to make money from land you barely use? So imagine you've got a piece of land, maybe a few open acres that don't get much use. Sure, it's beautiful, but it's just there. Now, what if I told you those untouched acres could become a passive income stream without you lifting a finger to build anything? Landowners across the US faced a similar question. They loved their open spaces, but unused land meant untapped potential. Some even struggled with the upkeep, thinking, how can I make this land pay for itself without taking on a huge project or investment? Enter HipCamp, a platform that lets landowners earn money by welcoming campers. Thousands of people have taken advantage of this, offering nothing more than a spot for a tent or RV. You don't need to invest in fancy amenities or even alter the land. By listing your property on HipCamp, you could start bringing in cash by simply allowing campers to enjoy the natural beauty of your space. But here's the unfortunate part. This video is not even being sponsored by HipCamp. HipCamp executives, are you listening? But what if your land could generate income using something that's not on or under the ground, but above it? This was exactly the vision of T. Boone Pickens, a legendary energy tycoon known for his oil empire. But he faced a dilemma. Oil was losing its appeal. Pickens could, however, see the future, and he knew he needed to adapt. So he asked himself, how do I make my land work for me in a way that's both profitable and forward-looking? So he pivoted. In Texas, a state famous for oil, Pickens decided to invest in wind farms, installing thousands of turbines across his land. His oil fields might have been iconic, but these wind turbines were his next big legacy. Each turbine turned the powerful Texas winds into steady passive income. No drilling, no refineries, just the wind doing all the work. So now we have seen how land can bring income from unexpected places. But what if your property could do more than just generate cash flow? What if it could actually help you save on taxes? Now here's where it gets interesting, because this next strategy isn't just for the ultra wealthy. It's a strategy anyone with property might be able to tap into. And Donald Trump took this approach to a whole new level with just one powerful move. So in 2015, he found himself facing a large tax bill. Owning massive amounts of property is costly, and he needed a way to maximize the value of his estate while reducing his tax liability. But how do you turn vacant land into tax savings? Trump leveraged a little-known strategy called a conservation easement. By agreeing to preserve a section of his New York estate, over 150 acres, he ensured it would remain undeveloped. This wasn't just good for the environment, it also earned him a $21 million tax deduction. And here's the best part. This strategy isn't only for billionaires. Many small farmers and landowners use it too, turning open land into a valuable tax advantage. But this brings me to my favorite story about conservation, profit, and legacy all rolled into one. Ted Turner, founder of CNN and one of America's largest private landowners, wanted his land to make a difference. Owning over 2 million acres, Turner saw more than just a financial asset. He saw a chance to leave a lasting impact. Instead of focusing only on profit, he decided to protect something iconic, the American buffalo. Turner turned large sections of his land into safe grazing areas for over 50,000 buffalo, helping to revive a species that was once on the brink of extinction. But here's where he took it further. His buffalo herds also support his chain of restaurants with sustainable organic bison meat. This closed-loop model is profitable and eco-friendly, showing how land can serve both a mission and a business. But when it comes to building a legacy, Jeff Bezos is pushing the idea even further. His plans, well, they're not what you'd expect, and trust me, it's not for farming. However, speaking of farming, let's go back to our juicy story about the time Bill Gates lost a bidding war. So picture this. Gates, one of the richest people on the planet, sees a rare opportunity, a 12,000-acre stretch of prime farmland in Washington. It's a treasure trove, and not just for what's on the surface. And Gates is ready to pounce. But here's the shocker. Gates doesn't get it. Despite his billions, he's outbid in this high-stakes battle. And here's the twist. He doesn't lose to another billionaire or another tech bro. The winner? The Mormon Church, an organization with deep agricultural roots dating back to the 1800s. So why would they outbid Gates for this land? Well, it's a move with a purpose that goes beyond money. And there's a lesson here that every one of us can apply. What's fascinating is that this land isn't just about farming for the church. You see, beneath those fertile fields lie valuable underground water reserves. And in a region where water is tightly regulated and new wells are scarce, the church is playing the long game, thinking generations ahead and preparing for a world where land and water might be the most valuable assets. Because here's the problem. Unlike stocks, land is disappearing. They're not making any more of it, and every acre the rich buy means less for everyone else. And when folks like Gates start gobbling it up, demand shoots up. It's like trying to grab the last donut in a room full of cops on free donut day. So what can you do? Well, you don't need a sprawling ranch or a billionaire's budget to make land work for you. Even a modest plot can be your gateway to financial freedom. The magic of land is that it doesn't just sit there, it's a tool, an investment that can quietly build wealth over time. Here's one strategy I use that's all about turning land into passive income. So instead of taking a full cash payment up front, I sell land through owner financing. What does that mean? Well, it's simple. Buyers pay over time, sending me steady monthly payments. Think of it like a mortgage, but in reverse. It creates a predictable income stream. No tenants, no buildings to maintain, just dependable cash flow. The best part? I actually make more from each sale because I charge interest on those monthly payments. Each installment grows the earnings beyond the original sales price, making every payment a small win for both me and the buyer. They get an affordable path to owning land, and I get stable passive income that's truly hands-off. But back to our original question, why is our homeboy Jeff Bezos trying to buy all that untouched land? So turns out Bezos isn't just sitting on that land for fun. He's got over 150,000 acres in Texas as a private testing ground for his space dreams. Think of it like his own mini NASA headquarters where he can test rockets and someday, who knows, maybe even launch humanity to Mars. But here's the real secret. You don't have to be a billionaire to get in on the land game. Opportunities are out there for all of us if we just know where to look. Not knowing this next hack is like owning a golden goose but only using it for omelets. So watch this video next to learn how to buy government seized properties for up to 89% off.